Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the internet's most intelligent, most sapient podcast, Wine and Wisdom. After a brief hiatus, yes, we are back, and we are back and better than ever because this week I have brought on somebody who I've wanted to chat with for a long time, Mr. Concrete Angel himself, Kyle, as tall as the clouds, Haines. How you doing, Haines? How you doing, my man?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm great. By the way, how tall are you? Because every time I see you, I feel like you grow. I'm looking up further and further and further.
6'4".
Damn. Yeah. See, my dad is 6'3".
Oh, wow.
So I'm like used to like looking up at a dominant male figure in my life. But I'm like, damn, I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's just like maybe I'm shrinking or what. But every time I see you, I always feel like you're head and shoulders above everybody else. How does it feel to be that tall?
I really don't notice it unless when I'm at work and I'm sitting down, or like I'm sitting down right now, and right in front of me I have like my table that's filled with stuff that I have for a collection update that I'm filming tomorrow. But my feet are currently just like spread out and resting on like the bottom shelf of this table.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the car, the seats kind of push back all the way back. It's all the way down.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't notice it unless I'm sitting down.
Right. You know, it's interesting because like, I don't know, I'm about 6 foot. And when you're around like a bunch of people that you're taller than, you're like, you feel tall. And then when you get around guys like you, you're like, I'm short. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's all relative, because even though I believe like 300 years ago, the average male was like, I don't know, like 5'5" or something like that. So we're like growing. Because I remember I went to St. Augustine, Florida, and was it Ponce de Leon, who was looking for the Fountain of Youth. And they were like, oh, he was the leader. He was the leader of his whole brigade. Everybody looked up to him, literally looked up to him. He was standing at a robust 5'7", but everybody was so much shorter back then that when, Ponce de Leon, they were looking up at him as like 5'7", they thought he was a giant. So there you go.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I like I said, with me being tall, I mean, I work in childcare, so I mean, 95% of the people I'm interacting with are way smaller than I am. So
yeah. I hear you there. I own a business and I teach children as part of that business, and I'm taller than all of them. And it's funny, like when you're a kid, I remember like seeing people, like I thought my mom's like 5'3". I remember being a kid and I'm like, oh my God, my mom's so tall. And then once you become an adult, you're like,
I had the same thing with my mom. It was one day when we were filming. I don't know if it was her during the first season or the second season, but it was one of those days where because she lives in Florida now.
Okay.
So comes up, we filmed an episode of the show for her. And it was during one of those times where we stood up. I think we were getting something to eat and we were leaving. When did you get taller than me? I don't like that.
Nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching and or listening, this is Wine and Wisdom. And essentially, the idea of the show is bringing on guests that I deem worthy of wisdom. And, we just try to learn from each other. We try to peel back some of the layers of what it means, to be a human and to kind of explore, I guess, the human condition a little bit deeper and learn from each other and grow, because that's what it's all about. And episode 24, I believe, is where we're at now. So having Kyle on here, hopefully we can learn and grow together, my man.
That's actually very good, because I just turned 24 a week and a half. So it's synchronicity.
Synchronicity number one. I need like a bell or something like ding. But yeah, that's awesome. Excellent. 24. By the way, let me get a cheap plug in. You can check us out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, right here, if you're watching on YouTube, at Kane Action Team, drop us a like, subscribe, you know the deal. And then why don't we get your plugs in real quick, because I'll forget, Kyle. So plug, hammer it out.
So of course you can find me on Facebook under my name, Kyle Haines, Haines. I review everything that comes out, even Cleveland-based stuff. You can find me on YouTube as Concrete Angel, Konkrete. There we go. uh, and then Angel regularly. Just past 400 subs. That's not too bad. That's 400 people watching. But I do all sorts of like filmmaking videos, collection videos. I recently did the Fun Mill 3 video. I do Let's Go Thrifting. We are in the middle of our third season. Well, I am in the middle of my third season. June completely booked up. July I'm working on. We're going to have just fantastic guests coming on. First guest coming on actually next week is Robbie Barnes. So I'm excited. And then you can find my purposefully awful music on SoundCloud. Same thing, Concrete Angel, where I am striving to become the worst, not the best, the worst rapper in the world.
Nice. Awesome, man. So yeah, check that shit out, everybody. So this is Wine and Wisdom. So that means got to have a bit of the wine. I got the old staple here, the Dark Horse Cabernet 2020. And we're going to pour and we're going to have a little glassy glass here. Now, my man, Kyle, he has something going on, right?
Yes,
you got some wine.
So for my birthday, the wonderful people over at Fun Mill, Kinsley, Josh, and James gave me this little bottle of Martin and Rossi sparkling wine. This is actually my first time trying wine.
Whoa! I'm glad that we can pop your wine cherry here, my man.
I've never had. I'm not a big drinker. I don't find enjoyment in it. Mainly, and I don't frown on people that do it. It's the weird aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get a little.
All right. Hey, wait. Cheers. All right, brother.
There we go. Smells a little. Oh, that's actually really, really good.
Nice. We might have a convert.
Yes, we do. God, Fun Mill, where did you find that? That's actually good.
Yeah, I act like I know what I'm talking about with wines. I really don't. I mean, wine is my favorite alcohol. Much like you, I wouldn't classify myself as a big drinker. I drink very occasionally, social settings, something. But my days of, getting crazy, getting drunk, going to the club and forgetting things are way, way behind me. Not that I even really did much of that. I definitely had a few spells in college where I enjoyed that lifestyle. But, I like, as I've gotten older, wine has definitely been more of my alcohol of choice. I don't know, maybe it's because I want to be more sophisticated than I really am, but I actually do enjoy the taste of it. I know a lot of people will bash on, really dry red wines, but for me, I enjoy the taste, and really that's all that matters, right?
The taste here was really good. Normally with alcohol, the thing that I don't like is that I don't find that the flavors are the two combinations are not mixed well enough.
Gotcha.
So I find I get the flavor, and then right after it, the bottle or the can leaves my lips, that's when the alcohol taste comes in. So that's when, especially with White Claws, which White Claws are. I've tried because people are like, you should try this. It's a good flavor. And I'm like, oh, great. It's alcoholic LaCroix, TV static. I don't like it. So
yeah, essentially, yeah. I don't mind them, but I don't go out of my way to get them. But some people, some people love them. Some people hate them, but
each their own, man.
To each their own. That's right. And speaking of each being their own, Kyle.
Yes.
Who the hell is Kyle Haines?
Well, I would just, from the outside looking in, I would say that just getting a look at me, I look 35, which, but no, I would describe myself as someone who's just very upfront and honest with people, but who's also very caring and very just passionate about certain things. Of course you can tell, I mean, this is only 10% of it. But I mean, I'm very passionate about movies. I'm very passionate about, the one thing I'm passionate about is being as direct and honest with people as possible, because that's how I want to be dealt with. If I am doing something wrong, I would like to be notified of that so I can correct what I'm doing wrong, whether it's if I'm making art or if it's just a human interaction. Please tell me. I'm very open to that. After all, especially in the entertainment industry, you cannot get anywhere if you're not going to be open to criticism. That's why I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the stuff that I do. I'm very proud of the content that I create for YouTube. I'm very proud of the music that I make. I'm also very proud. I wrote a novel last year, which you can find, I believe, under my name. Just type in my name, Behind Blue Eyes, on Wattpad.com. Even the novel I wrote, I mean, which the second one's coming out this year. I mean, I'm very proud of the stuff that I do. And if people love it, fantastic. But if somebody, I look forward more to hearing, like, you could have done this, or you could have tweaked this better. Also, just someone who, I don't know, just likes to talk. So a big, I'm a very lovable person, and a very loving person. The only way that I could hate somebody is if they did something extremely heinous.
Yeah.
And those people have been far and few between. So cheers to that.
Cheers, brother. Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of being open to criticism, and that takes a fair amount of self-awareness to be able to be open to say, hey, I know I'm a human just like everybody else, and I'm fallible, and for lack of a better term, my shit does stink. And there are a lot of people who think their shit doesn't stink. Exactly. And they'll surround them almost with an insular bubble of people that will just kowtow to them and just be yes men and yes women. They'll say, hey, oh yeah, your shit's great. Your shit's great, even when it's not. And that like you said, in the entertainment field, that very well, that there are a lot of people that, and I don't know if it's from a sense of because they are insulated, or if it's because ignorance or whatever, but where they think their stuff is really, really good and it's above reproach, but it's far from that. And now I'll be the first to admit, like, a lot of the stuff I put out, I don't even want the world to see it. Well, I don't want to see the light of day because it's dog shit. However, this is what I do know. I know that I want to be told, and I think this comes from having a strong sense of self and a strong ego, strong sense of self-esteem. And it seems like that's what you have if you're open to take criticism. And guess why a lot of people can't take criticism is because they feel like if they get criticized, that's going to be a slash, a cut, a dent into who they are in their self-image. And if you can't take that, you're not going to be able to improve. So for me, I'm with you. I want the criticism. I want the critiques when they're offered professionally, and I know that they're given to me to help me grow. I'm all for it because I know it's for my benefit.
My first piece of wisdom, not only to you, but to the audience, do not be afraid to be open and honest. Do it in a polite way. Do it the way I do it. Do it the way that a lot of people would do it. Because let me tell you something, you are going to, there might be that sense of being scared of some like repercussions or being quote unquote blacklisted because of an opinion. But let me tell you, if you are just upfront and honest about everything, and you're being genuine, like if you go up to someone and go like, hey, I love you, we got to talk about this, that, and this, because there are just some things, more often than not, those people will be more receptive and look at you with more endearing eyes because you were willing to come over and bring that stuff up to them. So don't be afraid to not only speak your mind, but to stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah, I agree with that. The problem is a lot of people, most people avoid conflict because they don't like conflict, which I can understand.
Yes, absolutely.
And then also with that too is a lot of people want to also hold their place in line. Meaning, I've been on sets, I've been around people in the entertainment side of things that, I've told them, because I'm much like you, man. I'm pretty much a straight shooter. How that being said, when I shoot and this may not be the best analogy with all the gun violence going on in this country, but when I tell somebody the truth and how I feel and my opinion on things, I don't go about it in a malicious, malignant way. I'm trying to help you, and that's on you if you're not open to that and being receptive to what I'm trying to help you with. But I've been around people that I'll say, hey, I think it's really bad. And here's why. Here's my opinion. Now, it's just my opinion, but here's why I think it's bad. And then what are their choices? They could be indifferent. They could agree and be like, yeah, you know what? I'll take what you said into consideration and I'll work on that. Or more times than not, what I've seen is the third option where it's, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, my shit's great. It's sweet. You're just a hater.
Yeah, I've experienced that. But I mean, with in regards to with going back to that, a good example is you and I, before we started recording, we mentioned our good friend Tim Hale. Tim, if you're watching, hey bud. I have a script that I wrote and that I need to. I don't know why I'm sitting on it, because Tim told me I need to send it out to people. But I sent it over to him to read, and I was like, what do you think about this? Because the main person that I go to, I don't know if you've ever met with him or spoke with him, is LeJean Woods. He is a tremendous person and a very funny guy, and a very caring, honest dude. But that's that honesty that I like, where he will tell you if something isn't working. But this one I wanted more eyes on, so I went to him, and he goes, yeah, it's really good, but what I would do is this, that, and the other, maybe take this out. And I took those words and I put them in notes, and I went and reworked the script, and I sent it back over to him, and he goes, very good. I mean, that's obviously not how everybody's going to operate on. And, it sucks because everybody is different in that aspect. But, I mean, that's how I am. That's how you are. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like that kind of underscores essentially my like philosophical viewpoint on life is everything is like constant refinement, where like I have been told in my life, no, so many times. Right. And I take each one of those no's or those perceived failures or letdowns, and I look at, okay, what went wrong? What did I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And how can I improve on this so next time I won't make the same mistake? And I think if we all did that collectively, not just in creative entertainment side of things, but honestly, if that was our approach to life, I mean, shit, things would be, you flip how you view life on its head, because there is a lot of tough shit in this world. There's a lot of bad shit. Life's not fair. It sucks sometimes.
That's very true.
Can you take what happens to you and use it to help you grow?
Yeah. And with these people that aren't open to criticism, I mean, let me put it as bluntly as I can. What if you're working a job and you're doing something wrong and it goes against the policy of the job? Are you going to tell them, no, they're wrong? Like with me working in childcare, now I want to be absolutely clear, I would never do this. But if a kid, let's say a kid hit someone on purpose, do you think I would grab the kid by the shirt and start roughing him up and screaming at him? No, because number one, that's hideous. And number two, that goes against the grain. And if I got called out on it and I started reacting like, well, no, and I started blaming the problem on other people or the child, I would be in the wrong. Same thing with that. Well, not in retail because the customers are pretty wrong most of the time.
Yes.
But it's just take that into consideration with how you behave in a job site. When everything happened last year, which I won't get into too much detail, I think you remember when I reviewed a
Mhm.
fan fiction. Um, I was shocked that happened because I didn't think that in the year 2021, I didn't think that was something that people either did or were still doing. But when that happened, I was shocked. And thankfully, I have overcome a lot of um, personal like trauma from it, because a lot of stuff that happened was very like, it ended up opening doors for people to heal, which I'm very glad. But me and a couple other people were dead at the center of it, so it was tough too. But like I said, when that happened last year, I was just shocked. I was like, I didn't know that this was a thing
Yeah.
that still happens. But
Yeah.
okay.
Well, a couple of things on that, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's privy to a lot of information about all that going on. And here's the thing, man. What happens sometimes it takes when there's a lot of like a forest fire. Like sometimes a forest fire gets started because the conditions are right, and there just may be a spark that comes along and sets all that kindling ablaze. And I really think and you did absolutely nothing wrong.
Oh,
You
I know.
state you and you know this. You stated an opinion that is your opinion, which you're entitled to. And then what happened is there was an avalanche, a cascading effect, because you stated your opinion, and it comes full circle and goes back to what we've been talking about. People that can't take criticism well, they get exposed, and a lot of skeletons in the closet came out, which is great. And I look at what you did, and I gotta also commend you for also, standing up for people, and people that have been victimized, people that do get bullied, especially via social media and online. And you say, hey, fuck that, like that's wrong. And I love the fact that you stand up for these people, and you're also like a space, and you help these people by having your, opinion. And because of what happened as a result of what you said, I look at it as a heroic act that you not only were like, hey, I stand by what I said, but now look at what happened. It's great.
That's exactly what it was. I had a couple people tell me that they wouldn't have even come out and told what happened to them had me
Yep.
or someone else not said anything. And really, with a lot of talks, I have to thank my mother, because my mother hears a lot of what's going on uh, in my head. Um, I love my mom through and through to death. I love my family to death. But I'm now looking at it more as, I'm very proud of what I did. I helped a lot of people let out those feelings that maybe they had been holding in that was hurting them. I helped them heal, and I did a lot of great work. I now have to kind of move on from those people in that situation, even though a lot of people feel it is in some way kind of unresolved. Um, I did everything I could. There's nothing more to do. Um, and I'm proud of the good that came from it,
Yeah.
rather than stuck on the bad that happened because of it. So I am, as the thespian Kelly Clarkson says, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger."
There you
So
go.
yeah, last year was weird. This year has been better, because I am what is that song? I am every woman. Yes, I am every woman. So, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know where I was
No,
going.
no. Awesome, man. Like you said, a lot of people felt emboldened and galvanized to be able to speak out against somebody because of what you did, and the fact that that you were you were the pilot for that.
I,
That makes
I've been called the door opener, the
yeah,
whistleblower. I've been called everything, positively. Uh,
yeah.
but it's yeah, I was definitely Maverick in that seat, and thankfully I didn't end up like Goose.
There you go. Nice, nice. Well, yeah. So that's another, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here is because I only have people on here that I respect, and because of everything that I saw, and read and heard, it's like, yeah, this guy's a stand-up dude, and these are the kind of people that I want to have in my circle and people I want to have on my podcasts. But yeah, just to kind of talk about, I mean, that's how we met, was through, and that's how, like, I would say not all my guests, but actually, if I went back and look at my guests, I would say majority of the guests we've met through entertainment, through film scene, and more specifically through the Cleveland film scene, and that's where we met. I was combing my brain. I'm trying to think. I want to say it was like George Tootie's Christmas party or something where we first met, but I don't know.
It could have been, could have
Yeah,
very well been.
yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to George Tootie.
I love George and his Christmas party. He's having a party in a month for the 4th of July.
Yeah, yeah,
Your ass, I am going to that. He put on a wig, and
yeah.
I showed him a video that I took. He goes, I don't even remember putting on that wig. But yeah, I think that's honestly, I think that is where it was, because yeah, I mean, and I'm so grateful for those Christmas parties too, because not only do I get to see people that I've wanted to see for a little while, but I also get to meet new people. That's why the Fun Mill event was so great. When I'm filming everything, that's why I filmed this year and last year, because, excuse me, whoa, the carbonation. It's, you really do get a sense of community here. I mean, even though, I mean, forget everything that happened last year, and focus on what came out of it, was a sense of unity. Like, there are great people here. We
Yes.
do make good things here. This is that's why I made the playlist, like the best of Cleveland filmmaking. I believe I have a couple of your things on there
Yes,
too. Really
I thank you for that.
stuff.
Yeah,
Because there are great things here. There are, whether feature films get made here, or just the short films. The amount of amazing short films that I have seen come out of this film community is absolutely fantastic. There are very rarely any ones that I don't like. And if I don't like them, I just tell that person, hey, that wasn't really all that good, but I know you have something else in you that's going to be really good, so I look forward to that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you said it, man. Like, it's cool. There's a lot of talent in this area, and more important than that, there's a lot of really good people. I'd say almost all the good people in the scene are good people.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yes, there are some that I stay away from, and I tell people that come into the scene, like, here's who you watch out for, my friend.
I do too. I do too. Ever since everything that happened last year, I was like, yeah, this is who you don't want to talk to. This
Yeah. One of my biggest, I don't know if missions is the right word, but one of the biggest things in my life, and I teach. I teach at Kent State University. I teach mostly women, and I teach self-defense, right? And I teach kids, and I teach them how to defend themselves. So, one of the common through lines is that bullies suck. People that take advantage of other people fucking suck. So I teach these people how to empower themselves, how to become a better version of themselves, how to be able to stand up for themselves instead of getting taken advantage of. So when I see it in other communities like this one, when I see people take advantage of young, unassuming, naive, people that come into the scene, they don't know any better, that just fucking boils my blood. So if I can do anything to help them, I'm going to, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, when all that happened last year, I was shocked. But I always tell people, I said, I'm very like when that first happened, people were like, well, well, did you expect this? And I'm like, no, because I thought we were adults here. But I mean, that's my philosophy too. When I was in school, middle school was just that middle school nobody likes. Middle school is that very weird awkward phase where everything's highs and lows and
Yeah.
in betweens. I was bullied pretty badly. That's partially why I did what I did, was because I don't stand for that shit, not at all. And if that's the way that these people are going to act, they should be called on it. Now, I don't think every minor little like transgression or inconvenience that somebody does should get broadcast. Like if you have a falling out with a friend, you shouldn't go on and blast like something small that they did. Not that that's happened to me or anything, but if it's something huge that's happening, then you need to shine a light on it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's how you're going to protect other people, you know, and, you know, you look at it like just happened in the last few years with, you know, the Harvey Weinstein thing and shit like that. And it's like, well, what happened is these are young, hungry, vulnerable, impressionable people that get taken advantage of by people in power. Right. And that's exactly what we saw. And it's exactly what we see, essentially with, you know, your, you know, situation with there's a lot of similarities there. So yeah, bullies fucking suck. And anybody that takes advantage of anybody else, especially if they are people that, you know, we should look out for, right? If you're taking advantage of those kind of people, fuck you. And I'm not going to work with you. And I made it known. And I told, you know, everybody on the Kane action team, our stunt team, I said, when all that went down, I said, we are never, ever working with this group, these people. Never. And I never did work with them, and I never will.
That the amount of times I've heard that, not just from you, but from everyone else, has been staggering. My main thing though is I'm in here to have fun.
Yeah.
I do really want to make the Concrete Angel movie. I have a script for that desperately needs to be fine-tuned. But I like, you know, I'm in this for fun.
Yeah.
Because this is not, I mean, I have a full-time job, but I always love doing not only like acting stuff and reviewing stuff, but I love doing this kind of stuff too. Actually, I wish I was interviewed more, because, you know, I do have things to say, respectful things to say. So, but I mean, you know, in the long run, that we do fun things here. There are many amazing things that people do here. I mean, you do absolutely fantastic work, as well as a lot of other people. So, I mean, if I can get an award for just having a birthday,
hey, there you go. Yeah, Kyle, listen, my man, like you're a valued member of this community, and you stir a lot of. You're like what you ever heard the saying, the straw that stirs the drink? You're that straw that helps kind of stir things. Now, sometimes you stir up a hornet's nest, but that's okay. That's a good thing, because then we get the bad eggs out of here. But no, yeah, we're happy to have you involved in the scene. I do want to know, like, what, how did you first get involved with the film?
It was actually through the therapist I was seeing at the time. This was in 2017. And I want to tell people, the way that I came into the scene, while admirable, is not the way you should do it. I wrote a script, and because I thought in my head that I had the capabilities of making a feature film, that I could just go out and do it. How wrong was I? So, and that ended up falling through. And I told everybody that I had as a part of that project, I'm like, you know, I'm sorry. It was basically a case of I bit off way more than I could chew. But I kept in touch with those people. And eventually Jessica Hallis started inviting me out more. And then I met Misha, and then I met, you know, Tim and Kinsley and Josh. And then it just became this. And then after last year, I started meeting everybody and their mother. So, so, I mean, that's really how I came in. But yeah, I mean, it's not wrong to put yourself out there and go like, you know, hey, I want to do this, but make sure that you're prepared. Don't do what I did, because what I did was was a little foolish, but that's what life is. It's
Yeah,
about making mistakes so you don't do that again in the future.
exactly. Just like we've been talking about, my man. Yeah, and you learned a
Yeah.
lot from it, and then you grow. Yeah, inevitably. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so because yeah. So you said that was about 2017.
Yeah. So wow, already 5 years.
5 years. Yeah, sounds about right. Because I've been involved for a few more years than that, maybe 2013 or 14, something like that. Yeah, I've been doing. I mean, I've been involved. I mean, I've been acting since I was 10 years old. So over 20 years, I've been doing, some crazy performance stuff. But after I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I decided I was going to jump more into the film scene, and then, and it's like you said, um, it's the more you just connect with people and network. And I'll say this, man, like a majority of my really good friends in life are people I have met via the artistic, creative arts community. Just great. They're my tribe. They're my kinds of people. I mean, I've always got along better with people that have an artistic side, that have a creative side, that have to express themselves artistically. Those are my kinds of people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The same kind of goes for me. I mean, just seeing when I was at Fun Mill last week, when I was seeing all of that stuff come together, it was it clicks in your brain like at one point, like, wow, I know a lot of people that came together and did this, and they all did such a good job doing it. Um, it was, and I was a little apprehensive too, because I had made two on-screen appearances in two of them, and in one of them, I played like a goon. I had to hit Montauk over the face with a crowbar. And I looked amazing. They did a great job with that. I was so giddy and so excited, and they credited me as the Gabagoon.
Nice,
So,
nice.
so but it's just that overwhelming sense of they did it. And with that particular festival, it's not like very competitive, like, oh, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Everybody's like, I can't wait for you to see ours, and I can't wait to see yours.
Yeah.
It's that sense of community involved. It's so refreshing, and it's so wonderful to me.
Yeah, and I love that, and that's what it's all about. I, yes, I think healthy competition is good. I definitely have a competitive side in me. That being said, it's not like there's a finite amount of happiness that goes around, and it's like, well, if Joe Schmo, his movie does really well, I can't be happy for my movie.
Yeah.
Right. But you get that. It's like we're not in competition. It's not like, only one team is going to win the whole game. It's not what it's about. It's about all, like, that's why I hate that narrative of, like, if I promote your shit, it's like going to be at the expense of mine. And I just never understood that. That's why I'm all about, like, promote everybody's shit, because a rising tide will lift all our boats.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see it from me. I promote pretty much
Yeah.
everything that everybody does. Even the stuff that I don't like, I still leave a link for it. I'm like, if you guys want to watch this, and let me know. It's up to you, I said. But it is what I'm never negative with something. Like, I don't go like, what, unless the person is a horrible person, then
Yeah. Well, then they deserve to be blasted.
yeah. And you know who else? Well, this thing is bugging me. So I picked this up at Savers. This was $6.50, which is a great deal. It's the complete series of Sex and the City.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Whoever made this DVD set should be castrated, because this is not how you package things. First of all, it's like a book, which is fine, but the discs are so packed in there that you have to literally grip them and rip them out of here. So I called my exchange and I said, do you guys have 10 two-holder DVD cases? They said, yes, we'll set them aside for you, because they knew it was me, because they can tell by my voice calling. They go, we'll just set them aside for you. What do you need them for? I said, it's this. I showed them the set. They go, "That's awful." I said, "I know," and it's very weird that they did it for Sex and the City. Thank God they didn't do that for Miami Vice, because I would have been pissed.
I do love the fact that you are a fan of physical media, because I clearly, because I am as well. I don't collect. I'm not a collect guy. I never really have been. The only thing I would say I kind of collect are movies, because I'm a fucking huge movie geek. I'm a movie fan, and
Yeah.
just having the tangible, like, physical thing, look at, whether it's the box art, whether it's the inserts, where it's the actual physical DVD, Blu-ray, etc. What's the other one? 4K, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the actual looking at the disc itself, it's art, and being able to have a tangible physical thing to touch for it, it's like an extra layer of connection, if that makes sense,
No,
between you and the artist.
yes. If you can see, like, right up in that corner, because that's where all the VHS are.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my closet is it's loaded with more VHS, but I put the ones that I have, like, a DVD or a Blu-ray copy of, in there, because I keep those for collecting purposes, because I just love VHS. But right up there is my Showgirls collection. I have the coffee table book that's been out of print. I have the laser disc that's up there. I have the special edition DVD box set that they did for it, which I was told was coming to me in used okay condition, and I opened it up and it's brand new, factory sealed. So I kept it like that. I have a reprinted poster, and I have the Blu-ray right here. I have the two VHSs they did, because back in '96, when Blockbuster was still a thing, Blockbuster would not carry an NC-17 rated movie, so they made an R-rated version of it. So I have both of those versions. Is it something I'm proud of? Yes. Is it something that I get raised eyebrows at? A little bit. So
Hey, man, you're being your true, authentic self. I do have a question. Have you cataloged everything? Do you have a number?
yeah, oh my God, it's got to be around 5,000. So I do everything alphabetically. And for those wondering, before it leaves my brain, yes, I do have You Don't Know Me, which is the Showgirls doc. But if a movie starts with the word "the," like I have the Cable Guy right here, which, by the way, I found out when I picked this up for $10. I found out that this specific edition is out of print and goes for a lot of money online. So there we
Boy.
go.
Nice.
But if a movie starts with the word "the," it's going under T, because I hear that.
Wow. You got a shit ton of those then, I bet.
Yeah, it's really real. They
Nice.
go, I mean, they cover like this whole U behind me. So it's
Yeah. I will say, like, the few movies that I've been in that we have physical copies of, it is kind of weird. It's like wish fulfillment, like, oh my God, I made it in a movie that I'm holding in my hand. Like, this is amazing. Like, 8-year-old Matt is like freaking out right now.
yeah, that I love. First of all, I got to get copies of your stuff. Second of all, a big reason why I collect are the extras, and I absolutely hate it when a studio puts a movie out nationwide and they release it to DVD and Blu-ray, and there's jack shit on the disc.
Oh, yes.
I watched all of the features. Like, I rewatched Top Gun this week for the new one, and there's almost 4.5 hours of features on that disc. It has one of the best making of documentaries of a movie I have ever seen. And it's really, I mean, I want to see the blood, sweat, and tears that go into making a movie. But except for the Marvel stuff. I mean, the Marvel stuff's fine, but I mean, there's 90,000 of them. I pretty much know what goes into them now. So
yeah, it's funny you mention that, because I, as a filmmaker, I'm telling you what, I've learned more from the audio commentaries, the extra features, the behind the scenes, etc. I've learned more through that I have through any book, any seminar, any tutorial. Like, I've learned so much when through the extras. I forget who it was. I remember I was a teenager and I was watching. It might have been a Star Wars extra feature. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyways, the filmmaker essentially said, he goes, don't go to film school. Go buy all of your favorite movies on DVD and watch them and get all the special features and listen. And it's essentially like going to film school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I love reading too. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of actor biography. My favorite autobiography. I wouldn't. I love Kevin Smith, but even though it's one of my favorite books, it's called My Boring Ass Life.
Yeah.
More of just like him writing a diary for 2 years. So it's not an autobiography. But my favorite autobiography of all time, hands down, is Bruce Campbell's. And it's called Hail to the Chin, Confessions of a B movie actor. And it is so insightful. It is so detailed. And it is also really, really funny. There is an entire chapter dedicated to this piece of shit car that he has nothing but problems with. And he finds someone to take it off him thinking, well, now this guy's going to deal with the problems. And he bumps into the guy a year later and he goes, so how's the car? He goes, the car's good. I've had no problems with it.
Yeah.
But there's a book I'm reading now called, it's a film and a true crime book called The Devil's Cinema. And it's a true story about this guy named Mark Twitchell up in Canada who became obsessed with the show Dexter. He was an amateur filmmaker and he killed someone. So it's very...
Wow.
It's very... It would be so disturbing if the guy wasn't such a complete idiot every step of the way. And this is not me advocating for people to go out and kill smartly. This is just, I'm watching because I go, you see those memes on Facebook where it's like, my mom or my wife watches true crime shows to go to sleep and they're like, you idiot, you left a hair follicle behind or something. No, like this guy, they're like, that's the car that belongs to that guy we're looking for. How is it in your possession? He's like, oh, totally crazy story. He gave it to me for no bill of sale for $40. And they go, yeah, we're going to have to take you into the station.
Wow. Where'd the love of cinema come from?
Honestly, probably from Who Framed Roger Rabbit and The Wizard of Oz. Both of those two I was obsessed with in I believe 4th and 5th grade. I still am to this day. I think it was Who Framed Roger Rabbit that really, in my head, I was like, I want to do a movie like this, or I want to make something like this. Those two, I would have to pin it on. And they're not my favorite movie of all time, but they're in my top 30. I love both of them dearly to death.
Yeah. Awesome. Favorite Van Damme movie?
Sudden Death. I love that movie.
Classic.
So much. I love all of Van Damme's stuff. The thing of it is, I've seen all of his stuff. I own all of his stuff, except for the one he did on Netflix last year, because Netflix is like, well, we'll release like 1 or 2 of our things on DVD, and then the rest, eat shit. But there are only 4 or 5 of them where I didn't like them, and it wasn't because of him, it was because of everything else surrounding it. But it's either that or it's what is it? Yes, Street Fighter, baby.
Oh, the classic. Up yours.
This steelbook, by the way, from Mill Creek. I'm going to show it off.
That's awesome. Wow.
You take this off, you got M. Bison on the back, and you open it up and you get 100 Bison dollars.
Oh, that's cool.
You get new interviews and everything on this. This is why I tell people to collect physical media.
Fuck yeah.
And with Mill Creek, even though they put new stuff on the disc, they carried over everything else as well that was on the previous disc. So, come on. I mean. Yeah,
no, that's awesome. What sucks, Kyle, nowadays, man, obviously with streaming, is that, so many, a lot of movies don't get a physical release. And if they do, like you said, man, very skeleton extras, if any at all.
There was a movie that I saw last year. It was on my list for the best of last year. I think you can watch it through Hulu, but the fact that it hasn't even gotten so much as a DVD release is frankly insulting. And it's a movie called A Mouthful of Air, and it's with Amanda Seyfried. and she plays a mother that's heavily going through postpartum depression. It's
Okay.
it's not a happy movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. And the fact that I'm not a Blu-ray snob or anything. If they put it on DVD, I would have bought it day one. But that just bugs me when movies don't have, because when they're on streaming, they're not there forever.
Yeah.
So, it really does bug me. And people are, I had someone ask me today if I watched anything on streaming, like show wise. And I'm like, not really. I don't, except I do watch Family Guy on Hulu
Yeah.
as a child. And I really want to watch that Pam and Tommy show.
Oh,
So
right.
that's
Yeah.
my list. But yeah, with streaming, I mean, that stuff's not going to be, and everybody everywhere is now having a XYZ plus. Everything's got to be a
Yes.
plus.
Plus. Yeah. Exactly.
HBO Max, Disney Plus, ESPN.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I canceled my Paramount Plus thing. I signed up for it.
Yeah.
And it was a waste. It was a waste. I watched it. The new Paranormal Activity that was on there was a piece of shit.
Yeah. I do the oh yeah, the free month trial. And then see ya. Like a thief in the night, I'm gone, baby.
It wasn't even a free month. They said you have a free week. I said, oh, all right.
Oh, yeah.
But that's because the service is cheap. It's like $5 a month. So
Yeah.
But I keep Disney Plus because, I mean, not only do I want to revisit some of the shows that I watched when I was younger, I love the new Muppet Babies they did. I'm absolutely in love with that. There's also, even though I have Disney Plus, I bought the DVD of it because it says they're uncut on here, of Bluey.
Okay.
Bluey is magical, man. I love that. I have Netflix because a lot of the movies that people talk about are on Netflix, and I want to watch the stuff that comes out. Amazon Prime, my mom lets me use, so I don't pay for that. And Hulu I use because a lot of the stuff that comes out during the year that does get physical releases, but I don't want to buy, Hulu is like, well, we have them to watch if you want to watch them. So I use Hulu for that. HBO Max I want to get. I don't get that yet. Everything else I could care less about.
Yeah, I think I know I borrow my family's Netflix account, and I think the only one I pay for monthly is Disney Plus, just because I'm trying to keep up with all the Marvel properties and the Star Wars properties. I'm trying to.
I think that's too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Too much with everything. They're really going. This is my personal opinion. They're going over with Marvel and Star Wars, and with Kenobi when that came out. Saturday morning, I'm scrolling through Facebook and they're like, Disney ruined Star Wars again. I said, all right, I'm shutting it. I don't need to, I've been hearing it since Last Jedi came out. I don't need to hear it.
Yeah. So other than Disney Plus, there my other streaming service that I have, because I like supporting this company, is called Hiya TV.
Well, go USA.
Yeah.
I actually, they put some of their stuff out on physical, and I have a few of them, and they're not the greatest, but they are pretty decent. And I do like the fact that it's only $2.99 a month for that service.
That's it, $3, baby.
I do appreciate that. Although my favorite Hong Kong action film is Hard Boiled from 1992.
It's classic.
I love that movie.
That hospital shootout scene still holds up.
Holy hell, I love that. I remember watching all of the extras on that, and I was like, thank God there are subtitles, because I'm still gonna, it's just, I love that to death. And then he carried that over, John Woo, to Hard Target, which is another great Van Damme movie, to Face Off, to Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, yeah.
It's just, oh God, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I could talk. Listen, my man, I could talk. I could talk this all day, every day. I'm a fan of cinema in general. Like I get kind of pigeonholed in this area as like the martial arts stunt action guy,
which I appreciate, because this is not a knock to anybody else, but everybody is more like horror and comedy, and I really don't see much from the action or martial arts side. So
you don't, not in this area. You don't. You're right. Horror really dominates things. Comedy for sure. Drama as well. But yeah, very, very little action. And Keith Collins and I really, are kind of only really the main two that really do substantial action. But my point is, I that's what I first fell in love with, action movies. You know, my dad, not the most responsible of parents. You know, I was really young, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I'm watching these hard R Steven Seagal movies, right? Guys
Oh, I love Steven Seagal.
getting their throats ripped out, their legs blown off, their arms ripped. And I'm just like, I would watch that stuff. I'd watch Bruce Lee stuff, Van Damme stuff, and I was just hooked. I was just absolutely hooked. I'm like, oh my God, like this is the coolest stuff ever. I got to do it. So, you know, I started acting at 10 years old at my in 5th grade at my elementary school's drama club, and then I started making my own movies and stuff. And you know, kind of like the rest is history. But my point is, even though I love action movies and they're always going to be my first love and my baby, I love, you know, experimental films, art house films. I love them all. Like every genre I can appreciate, because because at the end of the day, cinema is just telling a story. And whether you're doing that with two people in a room talking about life, or you're doing that with a, you know, explosive car chase, you're still telling a human story.
Oh yeah, I love. My mom kind of weaned me into the R-rated. Actually, my first R-rated movie was appropriate enough. It was a Bruce Willis movie. It was Cop Out,
Okay.
which a lot of people don't like. I hold a soft spot for that. I love buddy cop movies, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But when I would watch like the Steven Seagal stuff for the first time, and she would walk into the room and sit down, and she would watch it with me, she goes, "I remember watching this stuff. I remember when I was doing my Steven Seagal marathon, and I've seen all of his stuff, and I mean
Oh,
all
oh,
of it." There was a movie he did called Ticker with
yeah.
Tom Sizemore, Nas. They put him on the poster. He's in it for 2 minutes, and the late great Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Just remember, there is the absolute worst green screen driving sequence in the movie. When he steps on the brakes, the screen literally just stops, and my mom literally shouted out. She goes, "Really? What is this shit?"
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like Seagal's first like 5 picture run is awesome.
I actually I love everything up until Half Past Dead. So I love his like entire theatrical.
Oh wow, you are, yeah. I tapped out after was it shit? What's the movie? Was it Fire Down Below?
He did two. He did On Deadly Ground and Fire Down Below.
Yeah, right around there. I'm like, can't do it. But I mean, I'll tell you, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Mark for Death,
Siege.
Out for Justice, Under Siege. I'll put those 5 up against anybody's. And then after that, Executive Decision. I don't know if you've seen Executive Decision with Kurt Russell. You've seen it?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. I feel like Seagal was supposed to be really prominent in that movie, but they're like, this guy is a diva. Let's get him out of here. So spoiler alert, they kill him like right at the beginning of Act 2. It's crazy.
Yeah. John Leguizamo tells a real. By the way, find any actor who's worked with Steven Seagal.
Oh,
type their name in on YouTube and just go Steven Seagal.
yes.
You will find a cavalcade of stuff. Steven Tobolowsky has a great story about working with him on The Glimmer Man. But Leguizamo, and by the way, for Executive Decision, to tie in with the physical media stuff, if you have it on Blu-ray, keep the VHS or the DVD, because the Blu-ray version, I don't know how, but they said it's been edited from the other releases. So I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't care. I have both copies just in case.
Nice.
Leguizamo said that they were doing some training, and Steven Seagal came up to them and he goes, "I'm in command. Whatever I say goes." And Leguizamo just started laughing because he's like, I've never had something like this. And he said he got punched or elbowed right in the throat and put up against the wall by Seagal. So although I love Exit Wounds with him and the late great DMX. I love him to death. And that was supposed to be like his big comeback thing. And then you get past Dead and people are like, I don't think we're ready for you yet.
Yeah, I remember hearing that story about Leguizamo. I laughed my ass off. But that's the thing about Seagal. And now, he's absolute just a caricature of himself, a joke. Nobody takes him.
He has been described as the worst host of SNL ever.
Yeah.
He
creeped out everybody. He can't act. And he had, because obviously the host of the episode, they have final say on what sketches happen. And, it was all about me. I'm Seagal. I'm the man.
Yeah, there are some sketches that I've watched where even David Spade put it, like, if you're not willing to make fun of yourself or laugh at yourself for an hour, then this is not something that you're going to want to do.
That's right.
There is a sketch that is painfully awkward to watch, and it seems so perfectly suited for him. It's him and Chris Farley, and Chris Farley is taking Seagal's daughter out for a date, and Seagal's entire purpose is just to sit there and intimidate him. But Seagal has no comedic timing to this whatsoever, and poor Chris Farley is just sitting there not knowing what to do, and it's so uncomfortable because you hear the audience just dead. They're not reacting whatsoever. It was painful.
Yeah, awkward. Yeah, that's Seagal in a nutshell. You're absolutely right. I could talk. You have to look back in. I think where it's at. It's floating around somewhere. But from 2000, I think, was it 2015 or 16 up until 2020, myself and a couple of friends of mine, we did a podcast called Flicks That Kick. And we did 62 episodes, and it was all about action movies. What we would do is we would break down an action movie, just talk about it, nerd out for an hour and a half. And we did a few Seagal movies. So if I can find that somewhere, I'll send you a link somewhere if I can, if it's still hosted somewhere.
Oh, where is it? I'm so glad I have this. Another one of my favorites is Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Brandon Lee.
Showdown in Little Tokyo is definitely it's definitely an early 90s action movie. Like gratuitous nudity for no reason, violence for no reason. It's great. It's great.
That's one of my favorite lines ever, where just Brandon Lee goes, "By the way, I just want to say you have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man."
Yes. I laughed my ass off at that line. I'm like, where did that come from? That's so homoerotic. Speaking of, I'll bring it full circle. We're around third here. Speaking of, I guess, homoerotic. That's a weird transition. But I'll tell you my favorite movie. And people, I will judge you. And I will judge you on your reaction to my favorite movie. And then I'm going to judge you on what your favorite movie is. Just how it's going to be. So my favorite movie, and for many reasons, nostalgia, underrated, tremendous performances, great directing, definitely a slice of life, especially for the time, and still holds up today. But my favorite movie of all time is the 1991 Catherine Bigelow classic, Point Break.
Oh, I love that movie.
Attaboy. You should.
Oh, where is it? I have it right here. There it is.
Pure Adrenaline edition.
Yes. Oh my God. I love this movie so much. I really should watch this again, because I'm glad you brought that up. Now I have to ask your opinion on the remake that flopped back in 2015.
Okay. I cannot offer an opinion because I've not seen it, because I refuse to see it. Because how can you improve upon perfection? Celluloid perfection. You can't improve upon it. So, and then, like, I got the itch to kind of see it when it was out for, a couple years. And then I just happened to look up reviews, and I'm like, whoa, I ain't wasting my time.
I remember watching it. It's okay. I have movies in my collection that I hate that I just But I remember it's like it took itself a little too seriously, and that's
what I heard.
What the original movie was about. I am an FBI agent. I know, man. Isn't it wild?
Isn't it wild? Yeah, dude. I can quote every line in that movie. So if you get me started, I won't stop. So
I absolutely love that is your favorite movie, because people have unique
Yeah.
movies like that as their favorite. And that is totally not only something that I am so happy to hear is his favorite movie, but it's very appropriate that it's your favorite movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I got into surfing because of Point Break. I'm like, and I suck at it, but I'm like, I have to try. So anytime I go to the ocean, I'm like, I surf. Now I suck. I wipe out all the time, but I have to because it's like, it's Point Break. If I'm a fan of Point Break, I have to at least like surfing. But yes, favorite movie. I love it so much, and I'm glad that you appreciate it as well. What, Kyle? What is your favorite film?
2005's Four Brothers. You can actually watch this on Netflix right now. Um, from Paramount, it has Mark Wahlberg,
Yeah. Okay.
Gibson, Andre 3000, and Garrett Hedlund. I remember that was also in 2010. That was when my mom was kind of like introducing me to like the more tamer R-rated stuff. I remember that movie I fell in love with.
Where did my camera? Sorry, bud. My camera. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my camera. I don't know what happened. Maybe my battery died. But keep talking, my dude. I'll get to the bottom of this real quick.
Yeah. No, that movie is it's a vigilante revenge story about these four adopted brothers that, you know, they're this isn't a spoiler because it happens right in the beginning. Their mom is killed, and they come together to try and find out who did it. But it's done so well, and it's done so perfectly that I think every element about it is just so. To me, that is the perfect movie, and that soundtrack too. It's just filled with 70s greats like Trouble Man by Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
I Wish It Would Rain by The Temptations. Dancing Machine. Oh my God. It's and the director, may he rest in peace, John Singleton. That was his second to last movie. He did that abduction movie with Taylor Lautner, which was terrible. And then but he will always be remembered for Friday. No,
Yep.
He didn't do that. Sorry. Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. That's right.
Poetic Justice. And Four Brothers for me. And also Too Fast, Too Furious. He did that one as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that brief interruption. Way to hold it down. I got a new camera, and obviously the battery that I had wasn't fully charged. But yeah, Four Brothers. I saw it one time. It was on when I watched it. It was on TV. So
put on TV a lot.
Yeah. So I know I didn't get the full experience. But I remember in what I saw, and this was probably a couple years after it came out, when it was like on USA or some shit. But I remember enjoying it. But I remember like wanting more. So I have to go check it out. I appreciate you bring that one up. I'm gonna revisit that.
Absolutely. Speaking of batteries, I don't mean to cut us short, but my computer battery has 5 minutes left on it.
We are right at an hour, a little bit over actually. So we'll leave with this last question. And by the way, it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. This is awesome, and I will come back anytime you want me to come back.
Right on, dude. I will definitely have you back. And I feel like we've only scratched the surface. I feel like we got so much more to cover. But this is a question I usually ask at the end, and that is, if you had to give one piece of wisdom, kind of put it in a canister, right, and like give it to our ancestors hundreds of years down the line or whatever. If you had to, leave future generations with one piece of advice, one piece of wisdom, what would it be?
Stand up for what you believe in, even if it doesn't feel like the right thing at the time. It will be in the long run. And no matter what, never compromise. Be yourself to the fullest that you can be. Unless that something is very heinous, then you shouldn't be doing that. But that's my wisdom that I leave everyone here with today.
Dude, I love it. And I will say this, man, you are definitely manifesting your true self, and you are definitely, I don't think anybody would disagree and say, hey, Kyle is somebody, that doesn't stand up for what he believes in and isn't true to his authentic self. You definitely are, man. And it's refreshing. And those are the kind of people I like to converse with. And it's refreshing, like I said, to see it. And I wish more people were like that in this world, my dude. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
It really has been. Hey, one final cheers.
Yes. Oh yeah. Cheers, my. And I'm glad that we've converted you to the wine club.
Oh, absolutely. I think some of mine spilled a little bit yeah, it did. It pulled this little box here. This little lid. That's okay.
All right. Well, again, one more time, if you want to let the peeps know where they can find you and your stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at Concrete Angel, KONKRETE Angel on YouTube and on SoundCloud. And if you just want to be my friend, you can go to Facebook, KYLEHAINES.
Hell yeah, man. And again, check us out, Wine and Wisdom. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And we'll have you back on very soon.
Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your night.
All right, man. Love you guys. Stay wise. Stay beautiful. See you, Kyle. Take care, my man. I'll talk to you soon, dude.
Thank you.